Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. Stand in line for your fix. DeMarcus and Marcus in the mix, serving you yet another round of fish and grits. July 5th, 2017. How's it going for you, my man?
Man, it's going all right. Just another day. Once again, another dollar, another pickup in the NBA.
No
I'm
doubt, no.
falling at all.
I know, man. It's a lot of news that we're getting hit with. And man, today we do have a special guest making his return to the show, Mr. Brad Gilmore. How's it going for you, man?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for having me back on. There's a lot going on, a lot of things that I got to speak on. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just got to speak on it. I got a lot of things I need to speak on.
Man, what you gonna start with? Speak your mind for a minute, man.
Well, you know what? Let's do this arbitrary stuff. Let's do it at the top of the podcast. Let me just say, can I get my plugs out of the way real quick?
Go ahead.
Let me just real quick. All right, yeah, definitely on Twitter at Brad Gilmore. But follow my podcast, The Brad Gilmore Show. We drop new episodes every Tuesday. Sometimes we do twice a week. I interview all kinds of guests, hip hop. We talk movies. We talk, Seinfeld, all kinds of stuff. Go check it out, The Brad Gilmore Show, available on all streaming platforms. And this Saturday, if you're in the Houston, Texas City area, Reality Wrestling goes down July the 9th, live television taping. It's the penultimate show to our biggest show of the year, the Summer of Champions 4, also going down at the World Gym Arena, realitywrestling.com for tickets. Those are my plugs. I had to get them out of the way.
Oh, of course. Anytime, man, anytime.
But I think we have to start the show off with a very serious subject. Last Friday, an album came out called 444. I'm sure you gentlemen have heard of it. Is that correct?
Of course,
yes.
All right. This album is phenomenal. Let's start there. Where would y'all like to think? Do y'all think that 444 is a phenomenal album, yay or nay?
Oh, of course. I think it's one of his best albums of all time. That's just me personally. I feel like it's a different perspective of Jay-Z that we're seeing. It's Dad Jay-Z. It's OG Jay-Z. You know, it's that uncle that you see at the barbecue, like, oh, let me go talk to Uncle Tony right quick. That's the type of album that I got from Jay-Z.
I put it in his top 5. I like how you said it was Dad Jay-Z. I think this is more the most vulnerable Jay-Z we've seen. We've seen him rap about his life and what his upbringing and things of that nature, and his success and a little bit of his failure. But you never seen him so stripped apart in this album. Him talking about his relationship to his mama, to things of personal nature. We never seen him have a type of album like this. So I really think it was impressive, and especially I didn't even know going into this year that Jay-Z was even dropping an album. Honestly,
I didn't either. And I thought when I heard this album, I was in the car. It was like maybe like 1 o'clock in the morning, 12:30 a.m. I'm in the car. I'm actually sitting in the line at Whataburger, which is the best way. It's the best way to listen to an album.
That's 15 minutes right there.
And they cure hangover.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if you're into that sort of thing. So anyway, I'm sitting there and it drops, and it starts off with Kill Jay-Z, the first record, and I'm listening. As soon as the beat drops, I'm like, oh man, this is hard. Like this is some phenomenal stuff. And I knew No ID did the whole project. And then he starts talking about Kill Jay-Z. And then when he starts talking about, I gave you 20 million, you gave him 20 minutes. And he starts talking about Kanye West. Yeah. I'm like, this is going to be a different Jay-Z album. Yeah. This is going to be a different Jay-Z album. And I thought that Kill Jay-Z was almost a response in a way to I Used to Love Kanye. It had that vibe to it. Kanye was talking about I used to love Kanye on his album, and this was like, no, Kill Jay-Z. This is like he's like, no. Let's not look at it as let's look at it. Let's not look at it used to be. Let's look at it how it is now.
How it is now. Yeah,
exactly.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, and so when I heard that, and then it goes into Story of OJ. I'm just like, whoa, man, this album is on a whole nother level. And then you get to Smile, where he talks about his mom's a lesbian. Like when he says that, I'm like, wait, what? Like, he was dropping, like, how like some albums, they have like lyrics that are just, they're bars that are just throwaway. Right. They're just like, I need to fill the rest of the verse, right? There was no, I need to fill the rest of the verse lyrics in this album. Every bar meant something. Right. And when you go from Kill Jay-Z to Story of OJ to Smile, when he starts off OJ and he goes I'm not OJ Simpson said I'm not black, I'm OJ.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
you sure about? I mean, and then the video. Did y'all see the video? The
Yeah,
story of OJ.
the
Yeah,
video is
the
nice.
video is a visual revelation. I kind of wish he made a video to every song just to get a
I know,
peek
but
at
you
what he was thinking in each song. That kind of set his mind and what gave you what was the reason why you wrote the song or when did you write this song?
right. Because the one I felt the most was probably Marcy Me. Like I feel
Oh,
like
man.
that was Jay-Z like letting everything out, like letting you know, like, hey, I always had Beyonce on my side. Ain't nothing new. I've been doing it since the 90s, you know. Like he kind of wrapped up his legacy and then dropped the last track, Legacy. Pretty much just leaving everything, like, hey, I'm leaving everything to my family. I'm doing this for my family. I started at zero. And like those last two tracks, I feel like you felt what Jay-Z was in the past in Marcy Me, and then he kind of wrapped up his career and legacy. And
Yeah,
that's why I feel like it's just one of those ultimate albums, man. You know. But go ahead, Marcus.
It's kind of the best album you can say to kind of send off a kind of a candle. You blew out there you go.
Jordan number 6. Jordan
number 6. It's Kobe dropping 60 just to remind people. It's one of those memorable albums because he can really Ray Lewis. It's a walk-off album.
Yeah.
He don't really need to give us any
You
else because he kind of did an overlook of his whole life. If you really listen to the album, you kind of feel like, okay, this is Jay-Z saying goodbye to the career. It wasn't like how the Black Album was. You felt like he was coming back. But on this album, it felt like, okay, you know what? Jay-Z has nothing left to prove. And me personally, my favorite song is Bam because it just kind of took me back to old gritty Jay-Z that I've been missing for so long when he was just taking his subliminal shots at Kanye when he was just talking about when he was telling him about skipping leg day just to run their mouth. I'll be skipping leg day just to run the world. See, I mean, he was really spitting bars. This is the most conscious album I've ever heard from Jay-Z, me personally, because he raps about the street life and things international, Reasonable Doubt and American Gangster. But this album was something I've never seen Jay-Z even peak to. He peaked to the level of a Lupe, Absol, Kendrick in the realm of what they like to talk about and things and them being socially aware and just on a whole nother level of thinking. And I really enjoyed this album. I think it was what the game needed to hear. It's sad that we live in a time where I feel bad for Kendrick that there's other people that can rap up try to get to the level of Kendrick, but it's just like I wish he had competition. In the 90s they had people that bodied each other and you had competition, and you see that's why Jay-Z ended up getting better or Eminem, and people kind of weren't afraid to challenge each other. But nowadays it's kind of everybody is cool and just making a millions and getting a fame, but nobody's trying to step on nobody's shoes. No one's trying to push nobody, and I kind of wish somebody was out there pushing K Dot, honestly.
Well, here's the thing. Let me tell you this. So, y'all saying like it's Jay-Z's last album, and it very well could be. I think
it felt like it.
It felt like it.
It had a finale kind of feel to it. But here's the thing, Jay. This is his most introspective album, and I think it's a top 5 album, like easy. I mean, an easy top 5 album. But this was Jay-Z doing a number of things. It was him looking back on his career. Marcy Me sounded like it could have been on Reasonable Doubt.
Exactly. It sounded like it should have been one of those opening tracks. Yeah,
it gave you a street vibe.
Yeah, it was awesome. But this was him telling everybody, shut the fuck up. I'm Jay-Z, and I'm better at you than at life.
Yeah.
This was him. I think.
What's better than one billionaire? Two.
This is him telling Kendrick Lamar, hey, that thing you've been doing the last couple of years, that's cute. That's cute.
Oh, here we go.
And this is where the issue's gonna come in, Brad, because my man Marcus, he is a huge K Dot fan. And
no one's saying that Kendrick Lamar is not great. Kendrick Lamar is great. We're not debating he's great. All right, but Kendrick Lamar, and I had this issue with someone on Twitter earlier. Kendrick Lamar, I mean, he's not even he's not even allowed on the welcome mat on the throne of Jay-Z. Like, he can't even bow down to him yet. I mean, this guy, Kendrick Lamar's phenomenal. But Kendrick and Jay, that's not a fair comparative to me. You got to compare Kendrick and Nas. That's a fairer comparative to me.
And I feel like he surpassed Nas. So
I feel like Nas has like 2 albums that are okay.
Yeah.
One really good album. It's like what Jay-Z said. You have a one-hit album every 10-year average. I think Section 80 was cool, right? Good Kid, Mad City, phenomenal. I mean, wow. Blew me away. To Pimp a Butterfly was like, all right, yeah, okay, that's cool. And then Damn was like, okay, you just made a little bit better album than To Pimp a Butterfly. To me, like he hadn't had like. Tell me this: when Kendrick dropped Damn, you felt the same way you were feeling when you were listening to 444. You can't tell me that's it. Jay-Z's 444 is better than any album that Kendrick, Drake, or J. Cole have ever released. Just this one album.
See, my own rebuttal to that would have to be is we're not giving Kendrick enough respect for the simple fact is you can't compare. We can't compare Kendrick to Jay-Z, but you can spot talent. Like we look at a Karl Anthony Towns that's only been in the league for going on 3 years, but you can see the spots of talent and you can see the flashes of, man, that dude has some greatness in him. And you can see Kendrick Lamar and you can see the flashes of talent from, you can even go to his mixtape when he had the Kendrick Lamar mixtape. You see that he was speaking on another different language than anybody else was speaking at that time. And then if you go to Section 80, like you said, it was a cool album, but if you really go back and you really delve into the lyrics and you listen to what Kendrick Lamar was really speaking on the album, I mean, I think it's a phenomenal album. I think it's one of his best to me. And then when you go to Good Kid, Mad City, everybody knows how great that album. But To Pimp a Butterfly, that's the album right there that gets the most, I guess the biggest knock. And that's the thing I tell people. I tell people about Kendrick has a type of album that you have to marinate on. It's not a quick listening and then I can just go to the next album. And that's the thing that's why I like him in this time, because he reminds you of the type of artist that you got in the 90s where you had a longer period of time to delve into Reasonable Doubt. I'm pretty sure it's not a lot of people. You can tell by the album sales Reasonable Doubt wasn't really hitting like that, but I'm telling you it has more potency now than it did at that time because it got to resonate with people. I'm telling you, 10 years from now when people go back and listen to Pimp a Butterfly and to listen to Damn, they'll listen to the sonics and the sounds that Kendrick was creating and what he was doing. And on top of that, he was never diluting his lyrics. And that's the thing that I like about Kendrick is everybody has a kind of dip in their career. They have a sophomore slump or a third fall off or something like that. Kendrick still has 4 for 4 albums that you can easily give. And you look on Metacritic, I mean, these are not just your average days fans that, wave, that go with the waves of the motion of how they feel about music. These are people who sit down and study lyricism, and they gave to Damn high praise, Pimp a Butterfly, certified praise, that got in the accolades of being the highest rated hip hop album because it had to say something, because they were looking at something. Sometimes Kendrick lyrics, that's the thing that when I first heard Kendrick, I didn't think he was going to blow up, and to see the amount of success that he has, I never saw that was possible because I feel like his lyrics were too much for everybody. They were more for like 5% of the population, where 95% of the population is 5 of the population is listening to something else. And I feel like Kendrick doesn't get enough accolades in that regard. Same accolades that Jay-Z does. You can see him as a godfather of rap, but you see Kendrick Lamar is no slight, that he stepped into that throne and he's not afraid of it, while everybody else be ducking and dodging like, oh, Jay-Z said something. Oh, let me go sit down somewhere. I'm pretty sure Kendrick Lamar is back in the studio like, okay, you know what? I heard you, Jay-Z, and I'm pretty sure he gonna drop an album and we gonna be like, damn, okay. Well, we see what Kendrick Lamar is up to, that he wants the throne. He's not just backing down and saying, okay, here you go, Jay-Z. You've been great these many years. Let me sit to the side and let you conquer some more.
Well, I mean, but here's the thing. Kendrick tweeted the day the album came out and said, holy shit, masterclass. He said masterclass to Jay-Z's album. And that's what it is. You talk about Karl Anthony Towns. We see him now. He's got some talent, right? We know in a few years he's really going to develop into a great player. Jay-Z is the #1 overall draft pick in 2003, and he's walking in like LeBron James, averaging 25 from his first album. I mean, that's how Hove came in with Reasonable Doubt. It's like, let me show you something. I'm going to tell you how great Jay-Z is. Jay-Z has like 17 platinum albums. He has 13 solo, 1 with Kanye, 2 with R. Kelly. His R. Kelly albums went platinum. And he's got 1 with Linkin Park, platinum. Like, I mean, this guy not only can do it from sales, this guy does it from bars. This guy's destroyed all your favorite rapper. Your favorite rapper, Jay-Z's destroyed. Jay-Z's only been taken to the woodshed once on a song, and we all know that's Renegade.
But But let's not. Okay, so let's not sneeze on the fact that Jay-Z name value, just like you want to throw Drake name out of, you can say Drake album pushed so many numbers, but if you look at the content that was on the album, you can be like, you really didn't give me nothing. Jay-Z, that Linkin Park was just a redo of what he was doing with Black.
I agree with you.
And then same with the R. Kelly album. I mean, name value alone carries that album. But if you want to listen to that album, it's really trash. And then we can go to Volume 3, and then you can go to your Kingdom Come. Some people like it. It's not the greatest. Jay-Z has tracks on each one of his CD where you can skip and be like, I don't know why you put this on here. Ain't too many tracks on Kendrick Lamar. If you really listening lyrically, sonically, what he's doing with his melody, what he's doing with his beat production and stuff like that, that you can't just be like, oh, let me skip that. But I do give reverence to Jay-Z. He did just like he is, like you said, like LeBron. LeBron come back from 3-1, but do we still sneeze and we still look down on Kevin Durant like, you are stepping on LeBron's toes? Do we not give props to Kawhi Leonard like, oh, you might be surpassing LeBron in a few years? So we got to look at Kendrick Lamar like, okay, you at the doorstep knocking at Jay-Z.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just don't give him them. I mean, I think he's done great, but I can't give him the credit of you're knocking on the door at Jay-Z. That's why I said it's a better comparative to him and Nas. It's a better comparative to him and Eminem more than him and Hove. Hove's been dominant for so long, and to me, you can never take the throne. Even if this is Jay-Z's last album, we never hear Jay musically ever again in our lives. I mean, Kendrick's got to come up with something. He's got to have a catalog that goes head to head with Hove.
At age 40, about Jay's, if he can drop one at age 47 like Hove did, and that's
one at age 47 that has us going like, damn, man.
But he doesn't have to have a 47 drop one at 47 just to remind people like, okay, you know what?
No. He does, because Jay's run has been 21 years. He has been arguably the best in the game. Other people have hot periods. Remember, like Kanye said on that Deuces remix, you're going to be hot a little while, I'm going to be rich forever. Mm-hmm. Jay-Z has not only been hot, he's been hot and rich on top of the game forever, since day one. And when you talk about Kendrick's album, let's talk about Damn. Is Damn better than 444? I don't think so. Is Damn better than American Gangster? I don't think so. Is Damn better than Reasonable Doubt? No. Black Album? No. Blueprint 1? Hell no. Is Pimp a Butterfly better than any of those albums?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. No. I can challenge Pimp a Butterfly is better than, you can say his last two. It's not better than American Gangster. It may not be better than Reasonable Doubt, but it's in there. But the thing it was just like, this is the thing that always blows my mind. With Jay-Z, what was he going against? He was literally Michael Jordan in a time where nobody else was really doing nothing. Everybody had flashes. Okay, you had flashes a moment. You had NWA, they fell off. You had Snoop, had his wave, but guess what? He fell off. Dre, he dropped 2 albums. You can go take it to Mobb Deep. You can go Outkast. They had two albums.
No. Listen. Jay came in 96. Jay's battling. Jay came out the same year, you know, that we still had Big's album that came out in 97. But Big died.
See, and then Big died in 96.
But Big died in 96.
Big died.
That's fine. That's fine. Pac was around. But here's my thing. Jay then had to battle a little guy, you might have heard of him, named Eminem. He was kind of good. Jay had to go against a guy named 50 Cent, which was kind of dominant, if you remember that guy, 50 Cent.
Yeah, like a year and a half stretch where just
DMX, late 90s DMX he had to go at. He had to go at Kanye West. I mean, Jay had to go at Kanye West. He was battling between them two. I mean, then you go into the late 2000s, a guy named Lil Wayne. And then you go into the 2010s, a guy named Drake. And then now Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole. You could say Wale, Big Sean. Jay has just been here. And here's also the thing. I one time got to be in an elevator ride and drive around in my Ford F-150 in Houston, Texas with the legend DMC of Run DMC. We spent about 45 minutes together. We talked hip hop the whole time. He was telling me about his new album that he was working on. I could care less. All right. Because he's in his 50s. And guess what? Run DMC hadn't made a relevant album since the 1980s. All love, and maybe the early 90s. All love to Run and Run DMC. That's not my point. My point is how many late 40s, early 50s aged men can still go into a young man's game. We call hip hop a sport all the time. Can go into a young man's game, drop 40 in the game, drop 60 like Kobe. on a consistent basis and just say, hey, all that stuff you were doing was cute, KD. That's cute. I'm the best in the world. And you want to talk about Kendrick Lamar, Jay-Z's self-made man.
But
he said, I'm gonna do it on my own. I'm gonna figure out how to get this money. If I gotta hustle in the streets, I gotta hustle in the streets. Hey, I could be one of the greatest rappers in the world if I come out and I got Jimmy Iovine backing me with dollars and I got Dre sending me beats and working on my albums. I could do that too.
But think about this. The only reason why you care about Jay-Z, that he's 47 dropping a bar, that's not just sit up there and act like we're checking for Jay-Z just for lyrics. Jay-Z was able to keep himself relevant in so many people's eyes that we wouldn't mind to check for Jay-Z. Jay-Z didn't fade to the background like Snoop did, or like how Big Boy, and then he'll pop out with something, or some of these older artists. Jay-Z's always been relevant and dating the hottest chick in the game, like he said, him being relevant in all his business ventures. So he's been relevant. So yeah, you want to hear him drop an album every now and then and stuff like that. But when Jay-Z had his stretch run of him really running the game, he was really just going against. There was a dry period because two of the greats just fell off. So you had Tupac and then you had Biggie. Jay-Z was still trying to get big in that whole 6 years 6 year span, that when he finally dropped something, he was what, 27, 28. Kendrick is 30 and he already dropped four albums that are considered in hip hop culture, four top great albums. And the thing about that is, look how long with Jay-Z. Jay-Z got the benefit of the doubt that Biggie died, Tupac died. Now has never found a good production to carry his lyrics. So that's why you have to give somebody these favoritism. Same with Jordan. When Jordan, he had to go against other, I guess, obstacles and stuff like that. But how long did Jordan have to struggle with the whole Larry Birds and the Magic Johnson until they fell off, and he was like, okay, here's my chance to take off. Same with Jay-Z. Same to why I can give Drake credit, because he took over a whole genre of the way of, I guess, coming to music, and he took over a whole style and did a whole style of that, and he captured in something that, that was dead. Jay-Z did the same thing. Rap wasn't really going hard in the 96, 97. Who was really else dropping an album by then? So he kind of just took up, and you give Jay respect, but you have to give Kendrick respect. You can't just look at Kendrick and say that he's not coming for Jay-Z. He's even said in bars that he's coming for Jay. You can listen to him sonically and tell that he's way above the most mainstream people, or I guess your best artist. You can say Kendrick is in the conversation, and you can't just like I was like, it's no slight to Jay-Z. Jay-Z is the greatest. I remember I didn't get put on to Jay-Z until American Gangster, when I was 17, where I can really delve into what you're saying in the track. Like, I can't be six jamming Reason without like, oh my God, I understand what you're talking about.
Yeah,
so
no, for sure.
We got to give Kendrick some type of love. I'm not gonna.
I'm not giving him no love. I mean, don't misconstrue my words. My thing is Kendrick gets. Here's the thing: a lot of people are prisoners of the moment. This guy I battled with on Twitter today, he also says Steph Curry's the greatest in the league. And just because someone's hitting some 3-pointers, that doesn't mean I think they're the greatest in the league. Just because someone just got the highest contract of all time doesn't mean I think they're the greatest in the league. Mm-hmm. When you think of run, I mean, when we talk about Mike and we talk about why he's better than LeBron, the first thing we say is, man, he's got 6 rings. The guy's flawless. And Jay-Z's catalog, man, is just so freaking, it's wild that one man, I went to a Jay-Z concert when he was touring for Magna Carta Holy Grail.
Oh, that was a fail right there. That was a blimp that was a blimp on his resume.
What is?
That Magna Carta, that was a panned album from critics and fans. That album was boo-boo. Like, there's not one memorable track from that album.
Are you out of your mind?
Man, DeMarcus, what do you think?
Man, Magna Carta probably had about...
It is Kingdom Come type Jay-Z album.
Nah.
Right? Like, you could have... you came to a point where it was... Okay, in Magna Carta, if you can... There's not a memorable song besides that On the Run song with Beyonce.
The Holy Grail record with Justin Timberlake, memorable. Forgettable. That's man. He's got so many killer bars in that record. Oh,
See, we get comfortable. See, that's the thing about Jay-Z that I get mad at sometimes, that we get comfortable in how Jay-Z delivers stuff because he gets lazy sometimes with his bars. And truth be told, and if you really want to go back and you're doing a delve into Magna Carta, or you watch The Thrones, or you can even go to look at Some of Kingdom Come, or you want to look at Volume 3.
No, I can agree. It's like I said, it's probably on like 6 or 7. Like Holy Grail was okay. I like Tom Ford. Oceans was okay.
What was he saying on Tom Ford? That's what I'm saying. He said nothing relevant, nothing that I should glorify and say this album is like, man, that album was terrible to Jay-Z standards. That was like, for Michael Jordan, that was like Washington Wizards years. That was just like,
you're at it,
man.
Ridiculous.
If you look at Jordan's stats, he has some decent stats, but it's just like, come on, man, you trying too hard, and that album was trying too hard. Because if you really go ask the average Joe, if they ask you about Magna Carta, they'll tell you they really care about it. No one's really jamming that still in 2017.
It was a lot of features.
Picasso, baby. He had Picasso, baby.
I forgot even how that sound.
He had that one record. I don't remember the name of this record because it was the one that was like 40 seconds. That was done by Mike Will made it. You know what I'm talking about? Where he's like, "Why you never ready? For as long as it took you better look like Halle Berry."
Beach is better, right?
Beach is better. Yeah, Beach is better. He gave you
the best song he had.
He gave you 37 seconds.
That's all he gave me. He should have gave me a full track because
he gave you 37 seconds, and he did what everyone was doing at the time. Get on a Mike Will beat. He gave you 37 seconds, and he was better than any Mike Will song had ever produced. I mean, to me, Jay-Z he's the greatest of all time for so many things. But you could talk about Magna Carta not being great, but then for every Magna Carta, there's the Black Album, there's the Blueprint, there's American Gangster. I mean, we're talking about it like this guy isn't the greatest of all time. I mean, I give respect to Kendrick. Kendrick's phenomenal, but you can't tell me he's knocking at the door to the throne. I mean, you cannot tell me that. You cannot tell me that. Jay-Z, he even said, real life, I'm like ho. Real life, I'm like goals. Real life, you like me? Real life, I'm like, no. That bag different. My swag different. My wife, Beyonce, I brag different. Now, we know Jay's the best braggadocious rapper of all time. But when he wants to be the best lyrical rapper of all time, he said, let me drop 10 tracks and call it 444 and remind everybody I am the GOAT. This is like Jordan coming back in those Wizards years and winning the championship.
See, and that's the thing. And I don't know, man. Me personally, I don't know if it's just people just really biased like how they are with LeBron. There's games. If you look at,
I don't think it's that way, Mark.
No. Listen, I'm just gonna break it down, and I'm gonna be done with this. This is how I'm gonna look at it. There's games where you look at LeBron's stat on an overall season. You say, "Damn, LeBron had a great stat." But if you look at the totality of a whole season and watch every game, there's games where he takes games off, and you're like, "Man, something looks off about LeBron. He looks distracted." There are tracks on Reasonable Doubt, on all those albums that Jay-Z have that are in high regards. Those top fives we can give a pass, but those other albums you can look and there's chunks of tracks that are like, man, Jay-Z sounds distracted. This doesn't sound good. You look at Westbrook. There's no time where you look at Westbrook games and say, you know what? He's taking time off. He's not giving it all. There's not one Kendrick Lamar track, and I challenge anybody to go listen, where it seemed like Kendrick took time off and he was bullshitting on that track. There's times I look at Jay-Z.
I got 4 words for you. This dick ain't free.
I'm gonna tell you right now, man, that Jay-Z has 2 on this album that he started bullshitting on, and that's that album with that song where he was bullshitting with the song with Frank Ocean, whatever name that is, and
Cardeneras. That's probably my least favorite.
And the song that he was taking shots at Raptors. There was like literally, okay, let me be honest with you.
Kill Jay-Z?
No, the one that we were just talking about, the one that you said that you
Marcy.
Where he was talking about most of these new age rappers. Was it Moonlight? You can't tell me that he was can't tell me.
You don't like Moonlight?
No, I like Moonlight, but there's times you can look at that OJ line when he was like, I'm not black, I'm OJ. He waited a whole a couple of bars where he could have spit something and did nothing and just say, okay, come on.
Like, no, come on. That's called
Marcus,
we can't,
come on. You can't see this. We can't sit up there. We can't sit up there and say we can't play Rockabye Baby with Jay-Z and say, oh, Jay-Z is on and Jay-Z. You can't just play favoritism to Jay-Z. There's times
bro,
where you can
Kendrick Lamar start off his tracks playing stuff backwards sometimes, so he have dead weight.
But it's all the okay, man. Okay, we can move on since I'm like we just see bias. There's biasism in this one.
Look, here's the thing. Here's the thing. No. There's bias. There's only bias if you think that Jay-Z's not the greatest of all time. That's the only bias.
He's the greatest
of all time. He's the GOAT at life in a lot of ways. It's either him or The Rock right now is the GOAT at life because those guys just win all the time. But I just really think Jay-Z came out this 444. One, because it was his most introspective album ever. Two, he had something to get off his chest. But three, he definitely wanted to remind y'all what time it was.
See,
he really did.
And that's what's crazy that we have to say. Since when Jay-Z is 47, this is his first introspective album. Full
introspective album because he's had glimpses of introspective
throughout
American Gangster and all
Section 80, Good Kid, Mad City, To Pimp a Butterfly, and damn, you can't say those are introspective albums.
Marcus, all those albums are great. All those albums are great. And like I told you before, at age 30, comparing Jay-Z to Kendrick, I will give Kendrick the leverage at age 30. All right, just listen to me. At age 30, I'll give it to Kendrick. At age 30, he's better than Jay-Z. But he has to give me 17 more years before I give him that status.
But no one said
I agree.
I need 17 more years. The Undertaker is not who the Undertaker is if he don't get the 21-0.
But this is the thing about it.
Yeah,
we're not talking. Point. That wasn't the argument. The argument wasn't me saying that Kendrick is better than Jay-Z. My argument was saying that you have to give Kendrick his just due and not say that he's not coming for it.
He's coming for him. He's not there yet. He's still running that marathon. Jay-Z being at the finish line chilling.
But you can't say. What did Brad say? Brad said that he's not even sitting at the same table. You can't see that.
He's not.
You can't tell me.
He's pulling the chair, but I need a little bit. 17. That's a 17-year gap. 17-year gap, bro.
And Kendrick been in the game how long? Relevant. Relevant. 8 years. Like 8 years. And you can't think 3 years he's been relevant.
Depends on what part of time. In the West Coast, he's been popular nationally.
No, not even nationally. Look at when Kendrick took off. Look at when Kendrick took off. That's all.
Kendrick took off with Good Kid, Mad City.
I give him like 4, bro. I can't give him like 8.
I'm not giving him 8. I'm not even giving him 8. Drake's got
2009. 2009. Wow. I would listen. No.
Yeah, no, not 2009. Wow. 2009 was so far gone. I mean, we're still at the end of the Wheezy era, going into the beginning of the Drake.
Yeah, I wouldn't really touch. I wouldn't.
But here's the thing. Let me tell you this. This is why he didn't have a seat at the table. The seat at the table has 5 seats. There's 5 people sitting down at the table. All right. Now we all have our different 5, but I think we can universally agree on a few. We can agree that Jay-Z's at the head of the table. We can agree that Pac and Big are there. We can agree. Some of us, I don't know where y'all put him, but I think M's got to have a seat at the table. And then then that 5th seat's up for debate. You can put whoever you want on there. Now, for me, I'm down home Texas and I'm Trill, so Pimp C is my 5th seat, but that's what we call bias.
See, and this is okay. Go forward.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
This is what we're talking about. This is what I'm talking about right here. When we talk about that seat, where was Eminem when he came in and when you finally said Eminem is probably gonna get a seat at this table? He dropped literally 1 or 2 albums and you was like, you know what? He has a chance to get in at this table. Kendrick dropped 4 albums and you can't tell me that he doesn't have the inch of getting at that table or even in the chair right now.
In 1997, when Slim Shady LP dropped or whenever it was, I wasn't old enough to comprehend even what a top 5 was. But I'm 5-6 years old. But when you look back at Eminem and you look at, Slim Shady LP, you look at the phenomenal Marshall Mathers LP, you talk about the Eminem Show. And if you want to go to the Infinite album, you can do that too. Eminem's albums, not only, here's the thing about M in those first few albums, at least that trilogy right there from Slim Shady, Marshall Mathers, and Eminem Show, Eminem transcended pop culture. Eminem was
he opened up
culture. A different gate. He opened up a whole different gate. I mean, he even addressed it on White America, the song on Eminem Show. But,
You said he did what? What'd you say he did?
I said he addressed, him opening it up to a different, he talked about, even on the whole Eminem Show album, he had the song White America and talked about how he got as big as he did because what he say, I use black music so selfishly and use it to get myself wealthy. But what I'm saying is M catapulted past anything that we could have imagined at that time. And Jay-Z was right there with him. Kendrick, to me, and then Pac obviously had a whole different influence than anybody. And Big off 2 albums is in the conversation. Big off 1 album was in the conversation. But those 4 names right there, they transcended the genre at the time. I don't think Drake, I don't think Cole, I don't think Sean, and I don't think Kendrick. I don't think any of them are transcending the genre. And I'll tell you what Jay-Z never did. Jay-Z might have did a collaborative with R. Kelly and Linkin Park. Jay-Z was never, and I mean never, on a Taylor Swift single.
Let me tell you. And you know what? This is how we're going to end this. And this is how I'm going to say, this is how biased that y'all been.
Oh, man.
No. This is DeMarcus. And this is going to be the last plug. And I'm going to let you really hear this. So you say that they created a genre. They transcended what was going on. Do you think that Jay-Z would have really dropped a 444 conscious album if Kendrick Lamar wasn't dropping conscious albums that got mainstream popularity? There was nobody talking the type of stuff that Kendrick. You can't tell me this, DeMarcus. There was nobody in today's time who dropped their first album that considered to be mainstream is considered a classic. There is not nobody who first 4 albums have a 96 plus Metacritic rating out of the highest professional people who rate albums. That's Kendrick Lamar, first 4 albums. And you can't tell me that Kendrick Lamar didn't paint the wave that's going on with everybody being socially aware and stuff like that. Come on. He didn't.
No.
Drake didn't.
I don't agree.
Oh, wow.
I'll tell you
about this? Nobody was talking about this.
Okay, let me ask you something.
Everybody had Bubblegum Rabbit.
Did Kendrick Lamar? I mean, you're telling me so Kendrick Lamar influenced Jay-Z to do this album. I don't think Kendrick Lamar influenced Jay-Z to cheat on his wife. I don't think Kendrick Lamar influenced Donald Trump to be president and have Jay-Z
had 1 track referring to his infidelity and 1 track apologizing. Everything else was socially aware. Who else talks about socially aware content? And everybody who has a socially aware
I don't know.
Let me ask you a question. And if you go to any type of review of anybody who comes out, they'll tell you the person who talks about the socially aware shit is fucking Kendrick Lamar. That's why you have a Joey Badass dropping the type of album he's trying to drop. Or you're
talking like Kendrick Lamar is the first artist ever to be socially aware.
He's not. No, he's not the first artist to be socially aware, but he's the first artist to be socially aware when bubblegum rap is running the radio. That's what I'm trying to say. You act like
Kanye West.
When you turn on the radio, you hear.
I love Kanye, so
listen. No. This is what you're gonna say. You turn on the radio, you hear Bad and Bougie. You'll hear fucking some Uzi Vert. You'll hear fucking Pickaboo and some other bullshit. And then what did Kendrick would do? With socially conscious bars, slide right into your fucking stereo and drop some fucking lyrics, and you be like, "Damn, Kendrick really has some shit to say."
Little bitch, and you can't little bitch. That's very lyrical. I'm just playing.
Wow.
I'm just playing.
Don't take it too.
I was just playing up that one. I was just playing. But here's the thing.
Hey, let's go.
But hold on. Let's not say, and we can end it whenever you want, but let's not say Kendrick Lamar is a guy, the only guy to ever break through the bubblegum pop rap era with socially aware music. I mean, you're acting like Kanye West didn't exist.
Yes, but no. In their time,
talk about there's not a group called Black Star.
In their time,
Def and Kweli. You act like
in their time, but
a Lupe.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Now, let me ask you a better question. Common, Lupe, Talib Kweli, Most Def, any of those people, were any of those people got radio hits with any of their socially aware music? No. And on top of that, were any of those people selling out? No. Were any of those people selling out big ass arenas like Kanye, like Kendrick is, with socially aware rap. Kanye West was not dropping no socially aware rap, and let's stop that. Let's stop like he was made. He'll say some few tracks, but he wasn't speaking on the level.
He was faking the funk, but
he wasn't. Man, we had what is his name? What's his name was writing his bars.
That's what I'm saying. He was faking the funk, but
let's not pump it up. Like I'm not saying that Kendrick is the first person to drop that, but let's not say that Kendrick wasn't the first person to create the wave, because everybody else copied their music to paint what was going on in mainstream. And what did Kendrick stay the fucking same? Kendrick ain't changed since when he dropped Kendrick Lamar mixtape. He ain't changed not one time. There's not one time you hear Kendrick Lamar like, man, you know what, you really dipped into something else. Drake did some bullshit, experiment bullshit. Cole did some experiment bullshit. Big Sean, all these people did experiment.
You know what, here's the thing also, and we can go on for an hour talking about this. Here's the thing also, though. Jay-Z said at one time it was Blueprint 3, it was Death of Auto-Tune, my raps don't have melodies. When we're talking about the greatest rapper alive, I don't want you going on an album like Drake and singing. I don't want you playing with that stupid bullshit song that Kendrick Lamar had. And I don't want you being Big Sean or J. Cole with that sleeper of an album that he just gave us. Jay-Z always came correct, and on every album, even the bad ones, he brought bars to it. Into the discussion.
Jay-Z's bullshit tracks had bars. Kendrick's record had bars because he was speaking on socially aware crap that was going on and still being happy in your situation.
Here's the thing. At the end of the day, when Kendrick Lamar's 47 and we go see him at Freedom Over Texas when we're celebrating July 4th or whatever, it's not going to be the same effect that Jay-Z has, because Jay-Z has everything. He has the socially aware music, and then he's got the hits. I swear, when I saw Jay-Z back in concert in 2013 or whatever that was, I did not stand down for the whole concert because I knew every single record. This man's got a catalog of nothing but hits. And when you can talk about Metacritic all you want, but when you go on Rotten Tomatoes, you talk about movies. There's a little movie called Face Off with Nicolas Cage and John Travolta where they literally switch faces, and that has a 99% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Face Off does not have a 99% on Rotten Tomatoes.
What does it have?
It is actually a rotten, probably on Facebook. Let me look right now.
It's got like a 90%.
And let me tell you right now, on top of when you talking about Jay-Z as hits, Jay-Z was able to accumulate those hits. You can't tell me Kendrick don't have hits. And you look at Jay-Z's first 4 albums, you can't tell me Kendrick. Oh, a couple. Man.
He's got a couple. What are his hits? And this is what a hit is. I can go call my 72-year-old father right now who's born in Waco, Texas, and I can say, if you having girl problems, I feel bad for you, son. And he'll respond, I got 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one. Now, if I go over to him and ask him any Kendrick record, if I say, hey, Dad, bitch don't, he's not going to say kill my vibe. I'm just going to be honest with you. He's not saying it.
Okay. I'll let you.
What does Rotten Tomatoes have, though, for Face Off? Tell me what it has. If it's got over a 90%, critics are bullshit. I'm telling you.
Face Off on Rotten Tomatoes has a.
What does it have?
Damn, it does have a 92.
92%.
That's Rotten Tomatoes. That's not Metacritic.
Hey, it's all critics, and none of them know what they talk about.
For this round, we're going to label this as a draw. We're going to label this one as a draw. But we got to talk about the robbery of the weekend. Pac versus Homer. What happened? What did you see? How was that a unanimous decision? How?
Okay. It's very easy. It's very easy. I can explain it to you. Boxing is a dying sport. It's been dying for this very reason. You have Manny Pacquiao actually go out there. The favorite by a long shot actually put in a very good performance, even in his last leg of his run, puts in a good performance. He actually beats him as far as I'm scoring, but you have an Australian fighter in Australia, and that's why Manny Pacquiao lost. It's because boxing has been dirty since day one. And I'll tell you this, I actually did ring announcing for a boxing event here in Houston. I'm not going to say who it is, but I was sitting there next to a referee. Me and this referee, we were talking the whole time, and we were watching this fight. Anyway, so let me get to the point. This one guy won the fight, and there was this Russian guy who was the other guy, and this one dude, he's beating up on him, boom, boom, boom. American guy wins the fight hands down. Then the referee turns to me. He goes, "Yeah, but you see that judge over there? Yeah, he's actually his son is the trainer for the Russian guy, so the Russian guy is going to win." And then lo and behold, they go in, judges read the scorecards, Russian guy wins unanimous. I saw it firsthand. Boxing is a dirty game. It's always been a dirty game. It's the reason the sport is dying. It's the reason it's going to continue to die. Manny Pacquiao should have won that fight. It's a travesty.
Wow.
He was an Australian fighter in Australia. That's why he won.
I mean, I didn't want it to be.
I heard he got the home. I heard he got the home crowd. I didn't watch the fight, but I heard he really got the home crowd, and he really got. I guess that kind of played into the favoritism.
They almost stopped the fight at one point. Like the dude went to the corner and said, "Hey, if you don't show me something, I'm stopping the fight." At that point, I thought it was over. I'm like, "Oh, there's no way." Now, don't get me wrong. Horn, I want to say his first 3 rounds. I say he probably won 2 of them. He
won some rounds. He definitely won some rounds.
I think the 2 out of the 3, I think he won at least 2 out of the first 3, and I think that momentum kind of carried him. And I don't think they really – Pacquiao had a couple 10-8 rounds that I don't think he got. I want to say at least the 9th and probably the 7th or the 8th. He had at least 2 10-8 rounds, and they just didn't give it to him. But I knew him being aggressive in the beginning, he had a slight shot. I didn't think unanimous. I thought maybe it would have been 2-1 or, something like that. Something that favor, maybe a closer score, but I didn't see that happening. But now that you say this, and it is in his hometown, and it kind of makes sense. But I just
hate what happens.
I hate that he got robbed on ESPN. That's what make it worse. Like everybody got to see it for free.
Everybody got to see it on free.
So it's like
bullshit live.
I went from this fight shows you that boxing is back to this shit is rigged in a matter of 2 minutes, because it was a good fight. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong, it was a good fight, but it was just the wrong decision.
It was an awful decision. It's great that boxing was back on ESPN, but this is why we're going to continue to see the proliferation of the UFC and why they're going to continue to be the dominant, singles, combat sports promotion in the world, because they, you never look at a UFC fight and say, I don't know about that. I think the judges got that one wrong.
Yeah,
you can have some debates, but it's never a clear. Oh my God, what were they thinking? In boxing, it happens all the time, which is why I say Conor McGregor's got to knock out Floyd Mayweather, because
that's
boxing
the only
judges
way.
are.
If he lasts, he lose.
Yeah, if he lasts, he lose. Because there's no way boxing judges are going to give him the rounds. I mean, even if he wins them, there's no way they're doing it. So that's just the state of boxing, and it's what it's been for the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years, really. I mean, that's why you've seen the decline since the heavyweights. I mean, we talked about in a minute, back in the day, Muhammad Ali was the biggest superstar in the world. Mm-hmm. Mike Tyson was the biggest star in the world. They were the heavyweight champion of boxing. Joe Frazier, biggest, name in the world. Evander Holyfield, a big celebrity. Mm-hmm. Tell me who the heavyweight champion is now. 9 out of 10 people aren't going to say Deontay Wilder because they don't know. They don't know. Booker T, who I do a radio show with on Sports Radio 610, WWE Hall of Famer, he was at the Radio Row for the Super Bowl when it was here in Houston. He was doing radio. Deontay Wilder walks by. Not a single person stopped for a selfie because that's the state boxing is. But I guarantee you, Conor McGregor walks through there, the UFC lightweight champion. It's ridiculous.
It's lit, dog.
It's lit. It's lit. So, that's just the state of boxing, man, and that's why my 2 sports, are my 2, combat quote unquote sports, UFC for the legitimate, WWE for the entertainment. I mean, because at least WWE, I know it's a work. In boxing.
I don't know if you cheated or not in boxing. It's like, damn, the Lakers versus the Kings back in 2000.
Yeah, right? Yeah, exactly.
Well, in Dallas, Texas, they got the Great Balls of Fire coming up this weekend, man. Are you kind of looking forward to this pay-per-view? What kind of predictions do you see happening?
You know what? They're on a run where there's a lot of pay-per-views, man. There's a lot of pay-per-views. And a lot
like
of
2 a month. Yeah.
It's a lot to keep up with. But, I think I'm going to watch this show for a multitude of reasons. Number one of which, I want to do a count of how many times they have to say Great Balls of Fire, because it's the worst pay-per-view name in the history of pay-per-view. Like, it's the worst. It's Great Balls of Fire. And like the poster has, balls heading at, Samoa Joe's face. It's literally wild. But, Samoa Joe, Brock Lesnar, I'm into that match. I think it's pretty cool how they've been giving Samoa Joe the edge. I don't think that he's going to win the Universal Championship.
I think they set him up. They're making him look good during the run, though.
They're making him look good.
Yeah, they're making him look damn good.
blaze of glory. We're talking about balls of fire. He's going to go out in a blaze of glory.
Especially on Raw. If it was on SmackDown, I feel like he would have got a bigger push. But for him being on Raw, getting this kind of push, that's huge.
It's good for him. And then you have the Hardy Boys going up against Cesaro and Sheamus in a 30-minute Iron Man match.
That should be good.
Which was made. That's very interesting. I don't think there's ever been a tag team Iron Man match, especially to my recollection. So I think that's going to be an interesting
tired of the Braun Strowman Roman Reigns beef? Is it getting kind of played out to you?
Well, I could see how someone would make that case, but I think Braun Strowman in a year is going to be the biggest thing in the WWE. Really? I mean, he is. At first, when I heard rumors about backstage, people thinking, okay, he's going to be our next big guy. He's going to be our next Undertaker. He's going to be our next Big Show, our next Andre the Giant, if you will. I was like, nah, I can't see that. This guy, no chance.
Mason Ryan at first. I'm like, he's going to be out of here.
He's going to be out of here in no time. Mason Ryan, that's a good call. Mm-hmm. But as he's gotten more of a singles push, and he's done what he's done on Raw with Roman Reigns, and you see the matches this guy has. This guy did something to Apollo Crews on Monday.
Oh,
he did something to Apollo Crews on Monday.
The drop kick on the floor?
The drop kick on the floor. I've never seen that. I've watched wrestling since I'm 5 years old. I've never seen that in my entire life.
With that much power. We've seen the cruiserweights do it, but not with that much power. Yeah.
Not a big 6'9", 6'10" guy.
Yeah.
Kicking about 250-pound man out of midair.
Apollo
on
Crews
the ground.
Looks like Terry Crews. That's what he looked like.
Yeah. I mean, this guy's jacked, ripped. I mean, like muscles and more people than have places. But it's like this guy shoved him out of the air. I mean, it was phenomenal. So I'm not getting sick of it. I think that I want to see Brock Lesnar, Braun Strowman down the line. I really think that's a big money match. I couldn't wait for that one. I can't wait, I should say. And then, I'll tell you the one I'm looking most forward to. And hope to God my girlfriend isn't listening because she's going to get mad at me. I want to see Sasha Banks' sexy ass go against Alexa Bliss and take that championship. Is it just me, or is Sasha not like, and she was low key hot at first. No, and now Sasha comes out. Good, she's banging, man. She's banging.
When she gets the colored hair and shit.
Oh yeah. I mean, come on now.
That's
I have my favorites, but Sasha Banks is definitely, I think, in my top 3 right now when we talk about the WWE female wrestlers. So I want to see.
I'm with you.
I want to see her go at Alexa Bliss. I think that's going to be a good wrestling match. Alexa Bliss has really come strides.
She has
since she was like a bubbly Disney princess in NXT.
She worked hard. She's kind of like the Miz, the female Miz.
You know what? That's a good comparison too. I mean, the Miz, I think, is top 5 in the company, and
he came out of nowhere. Yes. Yeah. He deserved that spot at WrestleMania a couple years ago. Yeah. Me too.
Oh, I've always been a fan of the Miz. I always thought he had so much more to give because if you talk to his charisma. Because if you talk to Booker T, or you talk to a guy named Bruce Pritchard, who I'm sure y'all you might know, Bruce Pritchard, behind the scenes guy, Brother Love on TV. Mm-hmm. You talk about and that guy worked for Vince McMahon for 30 years, his right hand man. And Bruce Pritchard works with us at Reality Wrestling. He helps write the television.
Nice, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. So between him and Booker, I always hear them say, well, the guy can talk, so, and they say it like he can talk, so he's got a job. A lot of guys can wrestle, just like a lot of people can sing, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of people can sing well. There's only one Beyonce. There's only one Adele. A lot of people can sing, but you got to have charisma. And the Miz has always had that charisma. He got
the chops, man. He's got
the chops, man. And that guy, he saved that LeVar Ball segment as much as he could.
Yeah, man. He kept a straight face when he was acting the clown because I couldn't hold it together. I've been all on the floor.
I know.
Oh, man.
When he took his shirt off and he started doing that kung fu stuff, he kept a straight face.
I would have died
right there. I would have been gone.
Oh, I would have been out of there. I would have died.
To me, my favorite Miz promo is the one with Daniel Bryan, like on SmackDown Talk. Like afterwards, man, I felt it. Like from right there, that's when I'm like, all right, this guy is going to be a Hall of Famer at some point in the wrestling business.
Oh, he's phenomenal. I think the Miz, when we look back and we think about the Intercontinental
Chris
Championship,
Jericho. I feel like a lot of people don't appreciate Chris Jericho. I feel like the Miz is going to have like that similar career path. Like you're going to hate him when he's gone. When he come back for a 9-month streak, like yay Miz. Then when he leaves, I'm like, damn, now what do we do?
Yeah, I missed the Miz.
Was a shit back in the day.
Yeah, man, he still is.
Yeah, he still got it.
Damn, I ain't know he still wrestled. Damn.
But he just recently left, but he gave him like a strong year, probably his best.
Year
since the early 2000s.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he was phenomenal. So there's a lot of good things that's happening on Great Balls of Fire. I just can't believe that's the name of the pay-per-view. But I think the best part about it is that Booker T will be doing the commentary. Shout out to my man Book. And so, I mean, it's going to be, Houston. And then they're in Houston the next night. So I plan on being at that show on Monday. And a couple of the reality wrestling guys are going to have a tryout. So that's going to be good stuff all around. So I'm excited.
Okay, cool. All right, man. So let's get into some of the NBA talk real quick, man. You seeing all the transactions that's going on. Before we actually get into the rankings, I want to know which transaction impacted the NBA the most. Like, which transaction took a team to the next level?
Oh, man, that's a great question. I think if we're talking about what took them to the next level, not so much what took the team to be a title contender, but what took a team to the next level, I got to say Jimmy Butler to the Timberwolves took that team to the next level. When you got Karl Anthony Towns there, I mean, they're really trying to make pieces there. I don't think that they're going to be even in the top 5 in the West.
But I like that they're getting aggressive, though. They was very aggressive.
But they're trying. Yes. Yeah, they're trying. And I think that Jimmy Butler grab, it took me by surprise. When I saw Butler went to
before the
to Timberwolves, I'm like, what the hell's going on here? and then that was a lot of, that wasn't the only guy who came out of the East and went into the West that I was surprised at. And I think another team who strongly benefited from this free agency season, even though he wasn't a free agent, I got to give credit where credit's due. The Oklahoma City Thunder got them a good one. Paul George going to Oklahoma City was another
best damn rental you can have.
Yeah, nothing.
That's a great rental for nothing.
For nothing.
Can you imagine? I forgot what the general manager of the Thunder is, but can you imagine?
Oladipo?
Sam. Yeah, can you imagine him getting that call? Sam Presti. Can you imagine Sam Presti getting a call and saying, "Hey, yeah, so we want to trade George to you." Oh shit, that's great.
Man, what do you want? Jesus.
What do you want for it? I want Victor Oladipo.
Huh?
And that's it.
Like,
okay.
We'll give you some bonus. We'll give you some bonus for free.
Yeah, we'll give you. I was just like, what a phenomenal trade.
No picks. Oh, okay, good.
No picks. I'll give you Inez Canner right now.
You know that my team. And you know what that remind me of? Like if you playing fantasy football and somebody does a bullshit ass trade, you be like, man, that a one-sided ass trade. We gotta veto this shit.
They sign
you know what it is? It's when you're playing like the association on NBA 2K and you propose a trade with somebody and they say the Spurs aren't interested in this trade. Do you want to force them to do it? You're like, hell yeah.
Yes.
That's what that is. That's what that is. It's a ridiculous. And I'm not saying Victor Oladipo is not a good player. Like he's a good player.
Big time in the playoffs. He failed them.
Oh yeah, he failed them. But he's good. He's not great. He's not very good. He's good. You might be able to count on him more in the regular season, obviously, than the playoffs. But I don't see Oklahoma City Thunder. They're better than I think they were last year. I think that goes without saying. Now they're a 2-man show, not a 1-man show. I don't see them finishing any higher than the 4th seed.
Me neither.
Okay.
Or the 6th. The 4th seed. I don't see them finishing any higher than the 4th seed. And to be honest with you, I'm not so sure if Jimmy Butler's enough to take a 30 some odd win team to the playoffs. A 31 win team.
I think Butler, Teague, and what's the other guy?
They got Taj Gibson.
I think they can give him 15 more wins.
I think they can, and then if Jamal Crawford ends up going there and he's the threat coming off the bench, or they would get like a veteran presence on that team, I think that's all they really need, because you have a good core 5. It may take some time for them to gel, but I'm pretty sure Thibodeau literally grabbed 2 of his Bulls guys to get into the system that he's been running for a year. I'm pretty sure he can acclimate them into the system. And then Jeff Teague is a good fit-in point guard. He does everything well. He shoots the 3 well. He shoots the jumper well. He passes the ball well. That's all you need to defense. So he fits the role. So that's all they really needed. And I personally wish they would have got George Hill, but I do know that Tibb does like health, and George Hill struggles in health. So I'm pretty sure that's why he went after Jeff Teague, because he is one of the most durable point guards. But I like that team. I'm kind of higher on them than Brad is, but I can see what he says, because it's kind of the rookie thing. You're like, oh, I want to see it happen first before I give them that love.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm not just going to guarantee them a high spot, coming out of the West, because it's like I want to see how they work together first. I just don't think that the moves they've made is going to give them 15, 20 wins more. I mean, especially when you talk about the moves that some of the other trades in the West have, some of the other teams in the West have made. I mean, I got to say that Oklahoma City's better than they were last year. So that's going to be a hard team to beat on multiple occasions in the regular season if you're the Timberwolves. I think it's an interesting matchup. I think that, hey,
Denver.
I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, but the Lakers got better.
True.
Sacramento got better. I mean, a lot of
Sacramento
teams
got
Denver
better.
Denver got better. Like, I don't care what people say,
Denver
but
got
Paul
better.
Millsap does fill that void that Jokic doesn't do well. Is play
And the
consistent defense inside.
Clippers got the small forward they've been looking for.
If he can stay healthy. If he can stay healthy.
Hey, I will say the Clippers got better, and I'll tell you why. Because the big three we know wasn't working as it is, and the Clippers, and this is another bias of mine, but the Clippers got Patrick Beverley, which, I mean, was one thing in that CP3 trade that really bothered me.
Yeah, that was the key call.
That was the one that I was just like, damn.
He had
to
go though, man.
But you know what?
He was doing a lot of controversial interviews.
He was, and you know the thing I like about it is they got PJ Tucker, who can give you Patrick Beverley.
That's bigger, Pat Bev. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying in spurts, but he can shoot a more consistent shot than Patrick Beverley. So that's why I wasn't too much worried about it.
I just like Patrick Beverley though. I mean, Patrick Beverley won that Hustler of the Year award for a reason. The guy has so much emotion, and he was able, especially in that OKC series from the playoffs, he was able to rally the Rockets to. I mean, I'm telling you, if not for Patrick Beverley on that team in the playoffs, I don't know how that series against OKC really would have worked out, to be honest with you.
He won a couple
because
games.
he won a couple games for him
on one game.
Yeah, he outscored Westbrook. He had a thing where he hit like 3 or 4 threes in a row.
Yeah,
I mean, the guy was draining them. He had like 21 points from 3. I think. I mean, it's something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, he had 21 points. He had like 5 threes though, 5 or 6 threes.
He had 5 threes. He was killing it, and I really think he was an emotional leader. Now though, we can get rid of Decker. I don't give two shits about Decker. Montrezl Harrell.
Yeah,
I mean, okay.
Kenneth Faried.
He had
move on.
He had some good. He has good potential, but I can.
It's the Chuck Hayes effect. Like Chuck Hayes is good till you realize he's small. Then he started getting
Tyreek Evans. You know, in that same vein. You know,
and then to give up Lou Williams. Yeah, I mean, Lou Williams is a great shooter, but
Lou
he had
failed
a.
us.
I mean.
He did.
Lou had one job to take over in Game 5. That's it. We had the lead. We put the bench in. All Lou Williams had to do was come in and score maybe 6 points. And that game is not tied, and we don't go into overtime.
And I get tired of Skip talking down on the Rockets like Lou Will was really some cog, like some score that we left. Like
Lou Williams, he was good in the OKC series, but in the Spurs series, he had maybe one good game.
Still give me a consistent 17, 19 off the bench. It's not like you just, they kind of cancel each other out. But continue what you were saying, Brad.
No, I'm just saying, yeah, I mean, Lou Williams losing him wasn't even a big deal. A lot of people said we gave up a lot to get CP3.
No, we didn't.
And
I
really don't think we did.
That's it.
We gave up Pat Bev, and that was the only one that I felt, I was like, man, I like Pat Bev. I mean, he was just like that was just a favorite player of mine. But, when you really look at what we're getting in return, I mean, CP3 to Houston, like you Skip and Shannon, I'm with you. Skip and Shannon are like, Houston's worse off. No, we're effing not.
I don't get it.
We're definitely not worse off.
I don't get it.
And you know what's funny about it is, and the thing I laugh about, there's 2 things I want to talk about real quick, and you can go right back. The first thing is with the Timberwolves, the reason why I'm high on the Timberwolves is because I really liked a lot. I've really been following the Timberwolves, so if you don't really watch any of their games, you don't see that they lose it in the 4th, kind of like how the Rockets did around that 2008 and 9-ish kind of
1.5 point differential.
They would always lose it in the 4th, and if they had consistent play from the point guard. Now that they have Jeff Teague to fill that role, now teams don't have to commit more to playing defense on the point guard. Where Rubio, he kind of had they gave him space where they kind of clawed the lane. Now that those lanes open up for Jimmy Butler to get in their paint and dish it out, Karl Anthony Towns to work. So I'm really high on Timberwolves. And with the Rockets, what I don't understand about Skip and Shannon, what they say about the Rockets is they'll say like, oh, well, you got Chris Paul, he's ball dominant. James Harden, he's ball dominant. And then you have them saying, oh, well, I'm really high on OKC. Then what the fuck is Westbrook? Ball dominant? What the fuck is Paul George?
The guy said
ball dominant.
The guy said that his best friend is a basketball. And you're telling him now he's got to let go of the ball. He's got to cut his shots in half.
And then And then Westbrook didn't even know that they were getting Paul George. So you unexpectedly get Paul George. James Harden's been working on Chris Paul since February, reports say. So if they you people keep saying that, oh, James Harden had a great season, he's the point guard now, this is gonna mess up chemistry. Yeah, it'll mess up chemistry if the trade came out of the fucking blue. But if you willingly knew about this trade, and I'm pretty sure management talked to their star about this. I'm pretty sure James Harden signed on this, and he saw something in Chris Paul that he could take from him, and then in something that Chris Paul he can teach Chris Paul. And I'm hoping that Chris Paul gives James Harden leadership, learn to take care of the ball, something that James Harden does not do, something Chris Paul prides himself on, and not losing that ball.
Exactly.
And the thing that I also like about this is James Harden has not been held accountable by players that he can respect. Chris Paul is going to hold him accountable, and James Harden can't just come bitch out fucking Chris Paul and be like, well, guess what? You're not doing that. Chris Paul's like, do you look at the fucking game? He going to yell at, I can picture Chris Paul yelling at James Harden, how Chris Paul was yelling at DeAndre not putting that that putback ball in the hoop back in a couple of seasons ago. So I'm hoping that they'll come together.
I think that Chris Paul. Here's the thing. One thing James Harden proved last year is that he can be an elite point guard. I mean, he led the league in assists. He was a better distributor than he's ever been in his career, and he made that point known that he was an MVP contention because he was a phenomenal point guard. You know, when you talk about the regular season, it's either him or Russell Westbrook as the best point guard in the league. When you talk about the regular season, so you take that ability, and then you say, you know what? I'm gonna move back to the 2 guard. Because I was pretty good here. I was kind of an all-star here. I was a star of my team here in the 2. I'm going to take this 9-time all-star named Chris Paul, and I'm going to put him in the position that I was last season. He actually might be a little bit better than me at that position because he's done a little longer. And like you said, he's so much better at protecting the ball than James Harden. True. And then if I'm Mike D'Antoni, I say, okay, my opening lineups, I'm going to have Chris Paul at the 1. I'm going to have James Harden at the 2. And then I'm never going to not have an elite point guard on the court throughout 48 minutes. Because when Chris Paul's sitting, I'm going to move James in the 1. When James is sitting, obviously Chris Paul's going to be out there. And then when they're both on the court, you're going to have Chris Paul at the 1, James at the 2. That's a hell of a backcourt. If I'm Mike D'Antoni, I'm pretty happy about it. Do
you remember DeMarcus, and both of y'all, Brad too? Do you remember when D'Antoni was a coach of the Suns and they had Steve Nash, of course, you had and you had Joe Johnson? James Harden's going to be the Joe Johnson, but he's better than Joe Johnson, and that's why people don't. I don't see why people don't.
D'Antoni has had 2 playmakers in his system.
Exactly.
But the one thing that stands out to me the most, like I say, I love James Harden, and when I get critical of him, I'm very critical. He mentally checks out like nobody else in the league,
and Chris Paul does not.
Chris Paul does not. So I'm hoping that just a little bit of maturity from a guy that's a dad, that's married, can come here and give this bachelor something to look forward to at age 28 to take his game to the next level. James Harden is the most immature superstar I've ever seen, and he is great. James Harden, he'll go to the strip club right after losing Game 6. He don't care. He don't care. That's exactly what he did.
Let's not call him Odell Beckham because Odell Beckham now has a tattoo of Lil Wayne on his leg.
Yeah,
let's not put him out there.
I give him Odell's status on the immaturity. You see the game. The talent is there. But you can see if you could correct that immaturity and really start focusing in on some of those key nuances that you're missing on, you could be elevated. And I like what DeMarcus, I didn't even think about that. Chris Paul is going to bring that family aspect. And the family,
maybe he'll settle down. You never know.
And you know what? People thought Dwight Howard was the one that was going to do that to James Harden. Right? And you know what's funny about that is like people always thought that Dwight Howard was the one that's supposed to do that for but you can't give me this bumbling ass fool. He was giving out half effort. Chris Paul is always going to be the first man in and the last person out, and I'm hoping that his streak happens to end with the Rockets because it's going to be a win-win for us.
Definitely.
Dwight Howard is the worst money dump in Rockets history
ever.
I mean, oh my God!
I would pay Kevin Cato.
Well, no, he's not.
He's worse than 2000 Charles Barkley.
He did come up big in the playoffs. I would never knock Dwight Howard for that. He came up big in the playoffs for us.
He buried I mean, it was just a bad mix, you know.
1 year.
You can blame either side. Dwight did step up, but he buried James.
Yeah, he did bury James, but James buried himself too because he went
into the playoffs. But
James would go ghost. You know, he goes 0 dark 30 sometimes, and you'd be like, "Where the hell's James Harden?" I see the beard out there, but I don't see James Harden.
I mean,
but Dwight Howard wouldn't.
Oh no, James.
Dwight Howard
no,
would
I'm not.
disappear.
No, this is not a pass on Dwight Howard. He's garbage. Yeah. But I'm just saying, I like the.
Terrence Jones cost us that series. I understand. I understand what James did. 80 points in 2 games, dude.
Yeah, you did not stop LaMarcus Aldridge to save
at all. And by the time he made the transition as putting in Ashik and Howard, it was too late.
Yeah, man, it was too bad. It was
Kevin
already in a draw.
As a basketball player, he should have known game 1. Like, damn, Terrence Jones can't hold him. As a basketball player, he should see that. He'd be like, damn, he got a mismatch. Something ain't right. To go into
yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, to go into game 2 with the same game plan, and now we down 0-2 at home, like Kevin McHale should have made that change.
I mean, Dwight Howard is going to go down as one of the biggest disappointments in NBA history.
No doubt.
I really
have to make the Hall of Fame, which is sad. He'll make
the Hall of Fame.
Off one finals appearance.
No, not even off the finals. Off of his stats of him being a 7-8-time All-Star, him being a
player
of the year. He'll get those stats and he'll make it in the Hall of Fame. But you just say he's like an Andrew Bynum. He really was not challenged out there.
Andrew Bynum was biting that boy though.
Yeah, he was biting. That's what.
Andrew Bynum take him.
How does Andrew Bynum, who averaged 12 and maybe 7, body you, and
because
you the most dominant?
80% at the free throw line and 55% from the field. So.
Dwight the bum. But yeah, Brad, what else teams you like? I mean, in the East and West.
Well, you know what? I think that this Hayward trade is really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see who they have to give up because they're still talking. It has to be a trade and sign, is what it sounds like now. So I'm interested to see who they have to give up. I think Olenek is out of there. I think Avery Bradley's probably out of there.
That's a big
so it's going to be.
They said he's going to stay. They said that
Avery Bradley's going to stay.
I know he's on the trading block, but that's the type of player that I think that Danny Ainge said he wants to keep.
That's a Pat Bev, PJ Tucker type.
He's going to come off.
I like Avery
smart.
Bradley.
He's going to come off smart and Crowder.
But I think the Celtics. I mean, they're more interesting. Are they going to win the East? No. That's the one thing that free agency so far. We're still early in it, and these teams are going to change by September. But
did you see the Celtics talking to Gasol, trying to get him over there?
Mm-hmm.
They're talking to Powell?
No, Mark.
They're trying to make a trade.
They're talking to Marc Gasol. Oh, well, that's interesting.
I know. That's what I'm saying. What you think? You think that move will change the aspect a little bit?
Well, you know what? Yeah,
because he will body the inside. Tristan Thompson.
They need size. That's the thing about the Celtics. They don't have size.
Oh my God!
They don't have
Al Horford
size.
is the worst power forward. He's not a center. He's a power forward.
He's a power forward.
Yeah. Oh, he's a for sure power forward.
He should be playing center over there.
Yeah, no. So they need size. I mean, obviously, and that's not a slight to Isaiah Thomas, but I'm saying they just need size on that team. And, when you're going in the East and you're going to have to battle guys like LeBron James, you're going to have Tristan Thompson in the post. You're going to need some physical players.
True.
And so I think, though, the Hayward trade's interesting. I like it. I think maybe they win. I mean, we're talking like this team wasn't number 1 seed in the East.
Exactly.
But still, I don't think it's enough firepower to beat LeBron James, and especially with Jimmy Butler going to the West, and then you have Paul George going to the West.
Now tell me this: Do you give them credit for landing a superstar and keeping their assets, or do you feel they should have wasted some of those assets to get a Paul George, who would have been around to, or Jimmy Butler for 2 more years?
You're talking about the Celtics?
Yeah, the Celtics.
Yeah, I mean, the Celtics have draft picks coming out of their ass. I don't know why they couldn't maybe leverage a couple of those and maybe a couple players like an Olenek or a couple other guys, right? I don't know why you couldn't leverage those to get Jimmy Butler. I think Jimmy Butler on the Celtics makes them a championship contender.
Yes.
I really do. And then I think that as far as Paul George, I don't know. I know Paul George is great. There's just something about me, especially when I saw him lose 4 straight to LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he's just I mean, when he takes those last shots and he's not hitting them, there's something about that leaves a bad taste in people's mouths.
Yeah.
And Paul George in that playoff series left a bad taste in my mouth as the number 1 option, right? Now, and maybe even the number 2 option. I was thinking if I'm Paul George, I got a year to say, who gives a fuck? I'm coming to Houston.
See,
I'm coming to Houston.
I think Paul George checked out. I think he checked out because he was tired of Larry Bird and him being on the trading blocks or him in rumors being traded. He just mentally checked out. That's what I take because I don't.
Maybe
before the injury he had in the Olympics, you have to really look at Paul George and say that he was a person that was taken off. He was one of the best two-way players.
The high five with LeBron, hey, that showed everybody everything right there. Like,
and he would take it, and he wasn't afraid of LeBron. And that's the thing I liked about him, and that's the thing I liked about Jimmy Butler, because there was 2 games last year when Jimmy Butler played LeBron, and they beat the Cavs. You saw Jimmy Butler have no fucking fear. That's what I can't wait to see what Jimmy Butler brings to the Timberwolves, because that's what they need. They need a person that can lead them into that. And then also, I want to say, being Danny Ainge, I'm going to play GM for a while. Let's go ahead and say this. Maybe Danny Ainge is taking a look at Tatum and saying, you know what? I think I have Paul George light on my team, because in the Summer League, I know people don't really pay attention to it, Tatum's been fucking balling.
Mm-hmm. He has.
Today he had 23 and 13, no, 23 and 10. And this the other night he had what? 21 and like I think 13. You have to look.
They control him for 9 seasons versus 1.
Yeah, man. So I'm like, I really like what I don't know. Maybe Boston is working up something, because they're a center away from being a threat. If you want to be honest with it, all they really need is a center that can really hold down the paint and that cannot mess things up and give me a consistent 10 to maybe 15 points. And then guess what? We're in there with the Cavs, because you have the scoring threat. You have the coaching that can throw people off, in my opinion. I have to give Brad Stevens some respect, because that's the team. If I'm the Warriors, I'm keeping an eye on the Celtics, because Brad Stevens has the game plan to beat the fucking Warriors, because he didn't just beat them once. He beat them twice. He beat them when they were on their run, and then he beat them last year. So you can't sleep on the Celtics.
I think the one center thing for the Celtics, it is right. I think what the Celtics are doing right now better than anybody is they're setting the – see, a lot of people right now, and I got to say Daryl Morey is one of the general managers. They're all prisoners of the moment right now. Mm-hmm. They're all saying, let's construct a team to defeat the Warriors. The Celtics are like, that's cool for now, but I'm going to set up a team for a few years now. Yeah. Exactly. And that's what they've been doing, which I really think is smart. And Boston's always been a smart team, and they've always moved in a great manner. So I think that Boston's interesting. They're not beating LeBron James and the Cavs even right now. But I think that in the years to come, especially when LeBron's no longer in the East, which I'm beginning to think is more and more likely.
Me too.
Boston's definitely an option. My thing is this. I was expecting at this time in free agency, we would hear about the third name. For WCW, we were waiting on the third man to join the NWO.
Wait for Hulk Hogan.
I thought we were going to wait on the third man to join, LeBron and Kyrie. Yeah. And it hasn't happened. And for me, Kevin Love. I mean, come on now. Even the Nuggets are like, eh. But for me, the fact that LeBron James and Kyrie Irving, right, is the fact that the team seems like it's going to stay with those two, and we're not going to get the third man, right, for more firepower for the Warriors, definitely tells me LeBron James does not see his future in Cleveland. He sees it somewhere else. Now, he's not going – I think – this is my theory. LeBron James has said that he wants to play with CP3, Wade, and Melo right before he retires. I don't think he's playing – he's not going to go to Chicago. We know that. It looks like more and more as days go by that Melo's at least going to be with the Knicks for now. Whether he comes to Houston or the Cavs or not, we'll see. But I don't think that they're going to buy him out of his contract. So
– too much money.
Where does LeBron James go? Well, his other best friend, and this is wishful thinking, but his other best friend is CP3.
I'm with you.
Now, can you imagine?
I do not want LeBron here at all.
It's the Chris Paul effect, though, man.
As good as it, I'm not a fan of LeBron. I just don't like LeBron. I would literally.
It's okay to not like LeBron. But that's like me saying I turned down a feature from Kendrick. I'm not really messing with Kendrick, but I know he's great and I'd like him on my team. And I think LeBron James is the best basketball player in the world right now.
It sounds great. I mean, like on paper, it sounds great, but it just be dumb of LeBron. Let me leave. No. This is the scenario. This is the scenario. Let me leave and go to the Rockets. Okay. Let me go and join with 2 other ball dominant people who already have to work that chemistry out. Let me join and be another ball dominant player, and let's bring in Carmelo, who is a ball dominant player, and let's fight against the Warriors, who have recapped their core with another year of being together. Oh look, there's the Timberwolves. They're a nice and young and up and team. Oh man, we're gonna have to go through the Blazers, then we're gonna have to go through maybe OKC. No, if I'm like LeBron, I'm staying in the East where I can literally take 3/4 of the season off, come back, and still make the finals, because it's going to be tougher in the West. That means more bodies LeBron got to go through, and I don't think LeBron is built for that at the age of 32 going to 33.
No. Now, here's the thing. LeBron James is the most durable basketball player in the entire world.
He's due for injury. I'm saying it, man. He's due for injury.
You can put that juju on him. I'm not doing it.
Look how healthy Terrell Owens was, and how I'm no different sport, blah blah blah. But look, he still had injury. Michael still had injury. Everybody still. That's what I'm saying. But everybody has injuries. There's nobody who's escaped. No one escapes Father Time in football. Nobody escapes injury. LeBron is due for injury, but now he's not going to be due for injury. Now he's going for the East. He can really fucking take it easy. He can average like fucking 15 minutes a game and still get to the finals.
Hey, okay, I agree with all that. Now, if y'all had to bet your money, is Melo coming to Houston or not?
Man, I'd say yes, because nobody wants to stay in Cleveland. First off. And this is just a lot bigger market for him. And he had a good meeting when the first time he came here for a meeting a couple years ago. When we caught him in free agency. The meeting went well, but he just took the money.
But I don't think the Knicks want to buy out his contract. I don't think they want to give him the Knicks. They don't want to give him what he wants, and I don't think that they want to afford giving Phil all this fucking money. Now we got to backdoor it and give Melo all this money. They will be a fool to do some shit like that. Personally,
yeah. I think it'd be hard for them to do it. So I don't see it happening. Now, an interesting free agency signing that happened. Well, here, first of all, I love that Dwight Howard's on another team again, because he's going to go down like the antithesis of Shaq. Like, he's going to be as many teams as Shaq and have no rings.
Okay, I think he's more fit for that team. I think he's more fit for that team. I think he fit their offense. If he plays his role, I think he can really flourish.
We've been saying that for years, man.
Yeah, we've been saying that for years, but
but you've been saying it for years, and those years keep ticking by. And Dwight Howard's a 7-foot guy, and he's 31, going on 32 with back issues.
If he feels with Charlotte, then he's a bum to me.
He's been a bum since.
Yeah, he's been a bum, but he's a super bum. Like, I want to have a little glimmer of hope for Dwight.
Bum status
he's a bum on upgrade.
That's his 5th team, right? That's his 5th team or 6th team? 5th team.
Orlando, LA, Houston. Yeah, 15.
Atlanta, 5th team. Okay, but an interesting trade, because you want to talk about a weapon that you could bring off the bench, who I think is interesting when you already have a loaded team. And that's Swaggy P to the Warriors.
Exactly. No one's touching them boys.
It's really it's a really great get to the Warriors. I'm not a big Swaggy P fan, but I think they got
to have the second best player in the league took a $10 million pay cut. That's 2 Pat Beverly contracts.
Yeah.
That's 2 Pat Bev contracts. But trust me, KD's gonna. That's the one thing that I don't like. I like that LeBron doesn't cut his salary. LeBron's like, pay me my $30 million. I deserve it, and I think that that's kind of a bitch move by Kevin Durant. But good for them; they're going to keep their team together.
But you know what, KD? But you know what, LeBron did take a salary cap. He did cut his salary back with D Wade and Bosh.
Because Bosh signed first, so it wouldn't be fair to tell Bosh. We know we agreed to this, but hey.
But Kevin Durant, guess what? He took that salary cap so he can keep. He know the glue pieces. Why would you not want to mess that up? Look at Dirk. Look at Tim Duncan. A lot of the stars have taken a sacrifice, trusting in their organization.
I
knock LeBron because he doesn't take a salary cap. Now, I know we're all this in the mood of rah. We're for the players, and the players deserve to get the money and stuff like that. But it gets a little ridiculous when we're looking at fucking Otto Porter getting $100 million contract and stuff like this, where the players literally don't know what the fuck they want to get. They should have done a little bit better at the collective bargaining. And what I want to say is, I really feel like LeBron James handicaps his team to a certain extent because yes, you're 32, but you need to take some of that money off so you can afford some bench players that you obviously need. Every star's done it.
If he had to come to the Rockets, that would be the moment where he'd have to take a salary cap.
He'd take a huge salary cap to make that fit.
That's the only
James
way.
Harden ain't giving up that money.
I do think
James might come off of some. James might come off some M's.
The Chris Paul effect did this. PJ Tucker had an offer for 3 years, $33 million, and he ended up signing here for 4 years, $32 million with the 4th year partial guarantee. That's the Chris Paul effect. He took $3 million less to come play with Chris Paul. So if the president of basketball is on your team, that's an advantage off rip. And now you're talking about he's a best friend with Melo, best friend with LeBron. One of those guys is going to come down here.
Well, are we going to say that DeMarcus? Are we really going to give Chris Paul? I'm gonna ask you this: are we really going to give Chris Paul that much credit because he wasn't grabbing any free agents with the Clippers? Really,
he tried.
Well, he didn't need to.
Oh, so we're going to say okay. So we're going to give Doc credit.
And he did try. He wanted Carmelo.
I blame Doc. Doc.
Then. All right, then. Yeah, let's expose Doc then. Okay,
I blame Doc, and he never really had any good coaches throughout his whole career. Byron Scott, come on, bro.
That's true. You're right. No objection.
I'm not going to throw Doc under the bus. Doc's a great coach.
Doc was going to get fired if they didn't get KG and Ray Allen. He was on the hot seat. Like everybody,
he was in the hot seat because
he wasn't a great coach in Orlando. Like he had T-Mac, okay? He had KG, Paul, tank mode. Allen. He had Chris Paul, Blake Griffin. Like I feel like Doc.
Yeah, that's like saying, but hold on now. That's like saying Phil Jackson's not a great coach because he had Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, but Phil Jackson got it. Look how many times Phil got it done. Doc got it done once. All that talent, one time.
Phil got it done when Kobe was the only All-Star on my team.
Like I'm not really trying to bury Doc. He blew the 3-1 lead. Now look how confused he was looking. He was talking all that shit. Hey, why y'all so quiet? Remember that game?
Yeah, he didn't know
that. Why y'all so quiet? Game 7, what? Anything, Doc?
Go home.
Oh man. Wait, that was the series where what's their name? Brewer and Smith lost their mind.
Chris Paul missed the first 2 games, and we had that miracle game 6.
And we came back on the ass, and in game 7, they knew it was a wrap.
So I still feel tail end of his career, Chris Paul has to get at least to the Western Finals, if not the finals. He got to get somewhere.
Let's not trip. We're going to the Western Conference Finals.
At least.
I think that's
bearing injury, without injury.
Without injury. And that's an if with Chris Paul. But here's the thing. The number 2 seed in our way last year was the Spurs. Now the Spurs, it looks like, if I'm a betting man, they're going to win less games because they're not going to have – I don't think they're going to have Tony Parker.
And more competition. I don't think
they're going to have Manu.
Manu Ginobili's done.
More competition.
And got more competition. You have a more competitive way.
And a grumpy Aldridge in his 3rd year. Knowing
and
he's not the guy.
You know what? Golden State, they're coming off a championship win. We all know a lot of the times in the regular season, when you're coming off that title, you're not playing as hard. You're slipping a little bit in the regular season. You tighten up in the playoffs, but you slip in the regular season. That's why I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that the Rockets, they have a shot at coming out of the West.
The shot I was
at least being the 1 seed. Let me say that. They have a shot at being the 1 seed.
I will give you credit on that. In this only thing that has to work. If the first month of basketball, if the Rockets are playing hot, then I knew that this experiment is really working because what I'm thinking is Chris Paul really could have been a plug and fit with San Antonio. And I'm telling you, I think he could. I think he could have really challenged the Warriors. I think that was the best fit.
They would have won another 60 games. Easy.
But I'm telling you, Chris Paul must see something in James Harden
and that's
that nobody else sees. Because he forfeited the best chance. If Chris Paul at the age of 32, his best chance of usurping the Warriors was with the Spurs, and he took a shot on James Harden. There is something about James Harden we do not see that he likes about James Harden, and there's something that James Harden said to him, or I don't know what's going on.
It's still potential there. I mean, Mike went through a lot of shit in the 80s before he became Michael Jordan.
Exactly. And you got to give Chris Paul some credit because he could have went to the Cavs. He could have struck a deal of let's get rid of Kyrie Irving. As bad as people will boo-hoo with that, Cleveland fans will rejoice if they got Chris Paul and maybe another player, a person off like a Jamal Crawford to come with him for Kyrie and Shumpert or some shit. I'm telling you, like he could have done these possible moves, and the fact that he came out the Rockets out of nowhere, where me and DeMarcus literally thought that he was just filling interviews just to, get more money,
free steak and lobster.
Exactly. But the fact that he came here, I'm telling you that he's about to change. He's coming for it. He's coming for a ring, in my opinion. I hope so.
Well, I think that's the only reason he came. And I really do. I mean, I think he sees something with James Harden. I think you had a point earlier where when James Harden starts to slack off a little bit, he's gonna put him in check. Yeah. And he's gonna say, no, that's not how we're doing this. We're gonna play until all 48 minutes are done. And so I think that the Rockets maybe not come out of the West, but I think with San Antonio out of the way and Golden State coming off a championship win, I really do think we have a legitimate chance of being the 1 seed.
You have a great point. Because the fact is, James Harden played some of his best basketball when Jason Terry was his mentor. And Jason Terry was not going out there putting up 20 points, 11 assists. He wasn't out there backing it up on the court with what he's telling James Harden on the sideline.
Exactly.
Now you bring in a player that can back it up on the court. He's going to tell you what you need to do, and he's going to set the example off the court. He never had anybody that can set the example off the court and on the court. You have the ultimate pro on your team, and you just have to go out there and prove yourself. Like, hey, I'm sacrificing my best year. You probably have 2 elite years from Chris Paul left, 2 until he become on a decline. If Chris Paul best at a 10, we probably getting him right now. I want to say 9.5, but it's only gonna go down from there. He's gonna be 8.5, then 7. It's gonna go down.
I think if you limit his minutes, I think he can give you a good 3 or 4. I think if Chris Paul's biggest thing is he's always had to carry a team, and I tell people I think that's why it added
number 1 in usage and number 4 in usage.
He has to. There's a point guard. You're not supposed to carry. You're supposed to carry your team to a certain extent. You shouldn't be averaging 34, 35, 36 minutes. I'm telling you, we manage his minutes. He gives us his effort and his all. I'm telling you, Chris Paul is gonna pan out, and I think we'll go far.
Steph Curry's first MVP year, he played 26 minutes a game.
Oh,
yeah. So I think Chris Paul. I think Chris Paul is gonna be playing 24 to 28 minutes a game. In some games, I think he's gonna be playing less than that in the regular season. Because one thing you're going
he may not play back to backs. Keep on the Nene
he probably won't play back to backs.
Yeah. I like that. I like that.
Those are the games where James Harden can play point guard.
Yeah, exactly. Let him have the 1. They'll be fine without him.
That's the stats.
And I think that Nene was a great pickup again by the Rockets.
Oh,
I'm so glad we got Nene.
He's gonna retire Rocket. That's great.
Oh, I love it. And I love that, he is so good for Clint Capella. He's so good for Clint Capella.
I think Nene is doing what Paul Gasol should have did when he was originally traded here. Like that big man that's skilled, but can also give knowledge to the youth. Mm-hmm. That's everywhere you go. Paul Gasol, the big man, play better around him.
But he was ready to get up out of here.
Taj Gibson was done. Paul Gasol went to Chicago. Taj Gibson had
found life.
You know what I'm saying? So
we need a power forward like that. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind us trying to take a run at Wilson Chandler. There's also like Tony Allen out there that I wouldn't mind us taking a run at, or some veteran presidents like Vince Carter or somebody like that. I'm sure Morey's making another splash, but I don't know.
Morey's not done. We know Demo's not done.
In Morey, I trust. In Morey.
Yeah, man, because like DeMarcus said, he went from Trevor Ariza to what we have now.
Exactly. Yeah. That was our best asset, Trevor Ariza. Look what we have. Now we got 2 Hall of Famers.
Yeah, the thing is, for me, the starting 5 is going to be who? So we're going to have CP at the 1, Harden at the 2. Are we going to have
Ariza at the 3?
Ariza at the 3.
Ryan Anderson if he's still here.
Ryan if we still have him at the 4. Clint at the 5, and then you're going to have
Eric off the bench.
Eric and PJ coming off the bench.
Zochi.
Oh yeah,
Zochi's here.
But is Zochi, is he going to be in the G League first?
No, they said they're going to have. He's going to play overseas for a while. They said that he's going to play.
No, they signed him.
Yeah, but I thought he was going to be. In D League.
Yeah, they're calling it, by the way, the G League now. That just changed this year. Yeah, it's the Gatorade League now. I'm not even joking. Gatorade sponsored the entire D League and changed the name to the G League.
G League, man, that just sounds lame. But all right, they go with it.
Yeah, there you go, Gatorade. But it's also he's another player you got to watch in the summer league, man. It depends on his progression. I seen a couple videos of him today getting yelled at for hitting a mid-range jumper because he didn't take a 3-point.
You need that. Hey, you need. As long as he working on the outside game like Yao did, man, we're all the good. I like it that like what Brad said, is you can rest CP3, you can run James Harden as a one because you got PJ Tucker there. I think PJ Tucker was
that's a dog.
That was the pick that we needed.
Beverly played shooting guard. Now we have an actual shooting guard, Pat Beverly.
People fail to
You know what?
remember.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I want everybody to remember this. Go back and look at the games when James Harden used to play against. He used to play against PJ Tucker, who used to give him the fucking fits, and what's his name? Would play with Dallas. Wesley Matthews. Wesley Matthews for sure. We used to always shut down James Harden. I'm telling you, PJ Tucker can't do nothing but add value to your team, just like a Jerry Jack or those type of people that give in.
I like that.
Those extra points that you weren't. PJ Tucker can give you a good 20, 22 point night. Like he was having. Like, go look at the last year. Everybody needs to go take a look at the playoffs. I know people didn't watch the playoffs, but if you watch the Raptors, who had one of the best games besides Ibaka? PJ Tucker.
Was
consistently.
He wanted to win.
I'm telling you, that's why he came here. So,
man, Brad, was there any other big moves you seen? Oh, go ahead, man.
No. Any other big moves? Like I said, I like Swaggy P to the Warriors. I really do like that. And I hate the Warriors and I hate Swaggy P. But I think that's it's a really interesting move. I like that. I'm trying to think of anything else that just shocked me.
Another Shaq and the Fool to the Warriors.
Yeah, right. Oh man. JaVale McGee hasn't re-signed yet. I'm sure he will.
He's going to meet with the was it the Cavs? Oh, he meeting with somebody. I forgot who he has.
Oh, he has meetings. Okay, I thought you said
he had some meetings they were talking about.
Well, if I'm Zaza Pachulia, if I'm JaVale McGee, I'm re-signing with the Warriors at all costs because they gave me my greatest year and I won a championship. Zaza Pachulia, I don't think the Warriors even want to re-sign him. To be honest with you, I think they're like. I think he's going to decide. Get out of here. He's going to decide that he wants to sign with the Warriors, and they're going to be like, nah, it's all right. Good. It's all right. You're good.
Yeah, there's been no other good. I wish Boston they should take a look at Monte Ellis if they want to. I really wish the Rockets would take a look at Jermichael Green that played with Memphis. They should. He would fit in our power forward position perfectly. He stretches the floor. He rebounds.
Who's a good power forward who might be available?
That's the person that we need because he's one of the best power forwards on the market. He stretches the floor. He shoots a three. He defends the center position well, and he can slide and guard a three, or he can slide and guard the center.
In this league, you gotta have versatility. You gotta be able to guard at least three positions.
He's the type of person that would fit our. I don't know if he's looking for that, but Jermichael Green is who I would take a look at.
Nice.
I don't know. I'd have to go look and see. Because the thing is it doesn't matter what your team looks like in July. And I heard Daryl Morey say this the other day. He goes, I care what my team looks like in April.
On the Bill Simmons podcast, that was pretty good.
Yeah, it was good. And I like that, I like that mentality because it really doesn't matter, what we look like coming into, after the summer. It's going to matter when it's April. How many players do we still have healthy? What trades did we make before All-Star? Because Demo is not done. He's going to make another move that's going to make us, erect a statue for him in the city of Houston. So I'm excited to see what he does. And like I said, Daryl Morey, he's been ahead of the game, for his entire run with the Rockets. I mean, he's seen a year or two in advance of, okay, this is what I'm going to do then. I mean, to be able to bounce back from losing T-Mac and Yao in the same year, and then even I even liked it when he signed Jeremy Lin. I liked it because at least at the time he was like, I'm trying something.
Then you backdoor make the Harden trade.
You make the Harden trade, and then you bring Howard in. I mean, he's always looking.
Get a reason on the steal of a deal when he was already in a good situation with the Wizards. So
exactly. Get
him while he was on his down. Yeah, get him while he was going because he wasn't Reza just going downward. He had a good season when he was going down.
Yeah. Let's not pretend like Ryan Anderson and Eric Gordon weren't great pickups.
They were. They fit the system right.
Yeah, day two pickups.
Yeah, and then even the trade for Lou Williams at the tail end of last year. The guy knows talent, and he always, when he makes a trade, he's always making it to make the Rockets a championship team. He's not making it just to get some more people to come to the games. He doesn't care about that bullshit. He wants to win a championship. And I think that Demo is going to really – because here's the thing. There's only like 5 teams, 6 teams that you could really say, all right, if they made one move, could they win a championship? And I think it's Rockets, it's Warriors, it's Cavs, it's Celtics. I'm gonna give Thunder. I'm gonna give them a little love. I don't really want to, but if Steven, here's the thing about the Thunder. If Steven Adams is playing like he was 2 years ago,
they're good.
And you have Paul George there, and then you have Russell. They figure out their dynamic. I don't know. That's a pretty good team. I actually like that team.
And then you have Patrick Patterson sliding in if he can give.
Oh, and then Patrick. You know what? That was a great pickup.
That was a good pickup.
That was a great pickup.
And they just signed Robinson.
A great pickup.
3 for 30.
They got Andre Robinson back too.
Keeping Andre Robinson is good. So hey, man.
Okay. I don't know about Andre Robinson is good. I don't know if that's
he
good.
just good. Hey, good defensive. Yeah, it's another body out there. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, you remember when he like in the playoffs this year, he bricked the free throw shots in like 2 different ways. It's like he bricked the shot and then he airballed it. It was something crazy like that. It was my favorite thing ever. It was my favorite thing of the whole season. Was him like figuring out how to miss the free throw in 2 different ways, back to back.
I can't get neither of these, so okay, let's move on.
Let's move on. But you know what? I mean, we'll talk about free agency. We'll see throughout the season what team is better than this. Can this team beat that? But the age-old question we're always going to talk about at the end of the day is the fact that this, and I'm going to answer it for you, is that TakeOver is better than Ether. And ask Nas, he don't want it with Hov. That's what we're always going to land on.
That's funny.
Ask the Slabim.
That's funny.
Man, so what's going on again? Oh, you say Reality of Wrestling. What's the plug?
Reality Wrestling this Saturday at the World Gym Arena. And then it's our
what
show
time?
Before. Bell time 7:30. Doors are at 6:30. Okay. And we're gonna have a lot of big championship matches. But the next month, August the 12th, is our biggest show of the year. It's our WrestleMania. It's the Summer of Champions 4.
I'm come check that out, man.
Yeah, Summer of Champions. Y'all should both come out. I'll get y'all tickets. It's a great night of action. Summer Champions 1, we had about 1,200 people in there.
Nice. That's a good show.
The second Summer of Champions is when we got our television deal with CW39 because they came out and we were like, wow, we're blown away. And then, last year's Summer of Champions was an awesome show. We actually had Kurt Angle come out to that show and make an appearance. We always have big names at the Summer of Champions. So Summer of Champions 4, there's going to be some things that y'all find out on Saturday. Some big matches going to be made. Some legends of the industry you might find in the ring.
Spoiler alert.
So you gotta come out to the Summer of Champions, and then also check out the Brad Gilmore show. It's my show. We talk wrestling, we talk hip hop, we talk politics, we talk. I've been on this kick now. Tomorrow, I'll tell you who I'm interviewing tomorrow morning, and this is an exclusive. I'm excited about this one. And if you're a kid in the '90s, you're gonna be excited about it. I'm interviewing a guy named Jason David Frank. And Jason David Frank, his name might not ring a bell to you off the top of the head.
Green Ranger.
He was the Green Ranger
on Power Rangers.
In the Power Rangers.
Somewhere in that area.
Yeah, I think he lives in Houston somewhere. We're doing it over the phone, but I'm going to be interviewing him tomorrow morning, and that's going to come out in the next couple of weeks. So I'm excited about that. I've talked to a guy named Spike Ferriston, Peter Melman. They were both writers on Seinfeld. Chingo Bling was just on the podcast. So a lot of things going on. Slim Thug's going to be coming up again on the podcast.
It's good.
So a lot of cool things. Y'all check out the Brad Gilmore show. I've interviewed your favorite Houston rapper. I've interviewed your favorite Houston musician, and we're going to keep going on.
And he's interviewing your favorite Ranger.
Actually, my favorite Ranger is Kimberly, but that's for different reasons.
Wow, I understand.
The ladies.
Don't hate the Pink Ranger was nice, man. Pink Ranger was burned in my memory bank.
How to spank bank.
But she looked a mess on that new Power Ranger movies. Her and the Green Ranger was on there, and she looked a mess. She looked kind of aged.
She looked like a little aged, but you know what? I mean, Green Ranger Jason, he looked great. He looked like he could hop right back into the.
Yeah, he still looked like he can get back in there and start fighting.
Yeah, he looked great. So I actually like that new Power Rangers movie. So a lot of stuff going on.
Really
lot of stuff going on. I'm actually shooting a series at the end of July called the BK Chat. They're a group over in London, and they talk about just issues like does your girl's body count matter? And we debate it. It's a hot take show, so we're shooting a season of that at the end of this month. So a lot of cool stuff going on. You can always check out Heated Conversations with Booker T and I every Saturday at 7 p.m. on Sports Radio 610. Reality Wrestling airs midnights on CW39 on Saturday. So a lot of stuff going on. Trying to keep my finger in many a pie, as the old Southern expression goes.
That's great, man. As always, we do appreciate you stopping by. Just chatting up with us regulars folks, man. It's always been good as usual, bro.
Hey man, don't worry. We're gonna have our part 2 to Kendrick and Hope.
Hey man, we can do another part 2.
We're gonna have to have a round 2.
Keep scoring.
Because
whoever paid me under the table,
talk,
I'm doing.
exactly. I'm gonna pay you off. But just tell me this. I mean, you do think Takeover is better than Ether, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that's
you don't sound convinced.
No, I do.
Okay. You're like, yeah, maybe.
No, I agree. No, I agree. I give it to you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, I always love debating that as well. So we're gonna have to have our Kendrick round 2, and then we're actually gonna talk about how 2014 Forest Hills Drive is better than To Pimp a Butterfly. But that's another time.
That's another topic for another day.
I may be on his side 2014.
Hey, I did like 2014.
Oh no. We're gonna have to see on that. But man, as for now, this has been Fish and Grits, and you guys have just been served.
Y'all enjoy.